Baruch here with genConnect and Brian Tyree Henry.
Hello.
So, Brian, I need to just start out for a second.
Okay.
You have known Lupita since her days at Yale, Lupita
Yes,
Nyong'o,
yes.
who just won an Oscar.
Yes.
Did she always have star power?
She did. She, very bright girl, very great. I was actually out of school. I graduated from Yale in 2007, and I came back to visit. You know, I like to go back sometimes, and I went to visit, and she just came up and was like, "You're Brian. I've heard about you." And I was like, "Who are you?" And I was just stunned at just this gorgeous, beautiful woman. And she's like, "My name is Lupita." I was like, "Oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine." I mean, she's just really, she was a really great girl then, and she's really great now. And we did a lot of readings together with a couple of playwrights, Danai Guerra, who's in Walking Dead. Do you ever watch Walking Dead? She's a playwright, and we would do writings and readings with her, and I could just tell I was like, she's going to knock it out of the park. So she did. Very proud of her. We love her, and she's just great. Yeah.
Now let's talk about your star power.
Oh, God.
You are starring in the new project by Anna Deavere Smith.
Yes.
You're starring with Meg Gibson.
Meg Gibson, yes.
Why is this project right now, talking about race, why is it so relevant to 2014?
It's speaking on a lot of things that are still very prevalent and still very on the surface of what we're dealing with in this country as far as race is concerned. It was very shocking to me when I was reading and listening to James Baldwin and Margaret Mead talk about these things. It's 1972 at this point, and they were so still. It was so just palpable how much is still here. You know, when he talks about how this country has treated him and how he has to keep going on and finding a way to make his place as a black man and also as a black gay man in this country, it's still here. And the great thing is that they are talking to each other rather than it being this argument or this is what my experience is and you can't tell me what this is and this is my. It's actually just a conversation, and two friends who they become friends later on. It's just a conversation, and I think that that's the biggest thing that we have to do in this country is have a conversation about it. Because it's here. We know that race is here. We know that race is, it's just always going to be that thing. And so I love that James Baldwin, who is just, I love this man and his writings and his poems and everything, to see him actually reveal, like he just opens up about it. He's just like to the rawest of the raw, to the core of his being, how it is just something that is always on the surface that we don't really get a chance to talk about. You know, it's easy to sit there and see someone black across the street and then a person coming from the Upper East Side coming here and you think, oh, well, then they've got it like this, they've got it made, or he must not be that educated because of this. And then if we just sit down and talk to each other, you'd be surprised about how much we actually have in common, how much we are actually just human beings on this earth that have a tether to each other that is so deeper than just our skin color.
And you know, Meg Gibson, your co-star, was saying that even she, as a white woman, has experienced her own form of racism.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that we'll ever really be race blind?
You know, I don't think race blind is what we should aim for. I think what we should aim for is always being racially conscious and racially open, if that makes any sense. Like, I understand that you are a white male sitting here next to me and I'm a black male sitting, but we may find out that we're from the same area. We may like the same barbecue. We may like the same kind of drinks. And that is where it starts. I mean, like, that is what the consciousness is about us being human beings on this planet. What are the things that make us so much alike? What are the things that tie us to each other other than just a simple shift in color of our skin?
Transcending color.
It should go beyond that. And I think that we've begun that. I think it's begun. I think we're doing it. I think us sitting here doing this piece in Aspen, Colorado, is a huge step to get to that socially conscious, that racial consciousness, that racial blindness that we want. I think we are actually on the right step. What we have to do, though, as brothers and sisters of this planet together, is to always just remember and always know and pay homage to those who paved the way. You know, my father is 72 years old, born in 1940 in Kentucky, so he's gone through every single facet of this century of what racism could do and what it can't do for you. And as a son, first generation of him, I have to remember that and have to honor that. But also, I'm writing my own story. Race isn't the same thing as it was for him when he was around as it is for me, and I honor that, and I'm really happy about that. And I'm just sitting here as Brian Tyree Henry, just trying to destroy those things of what we think we can and cannot do because of race. You know, I went to predominantly black schools my entire life. You know, I was raised in North Carolina and Washington, D.C. I went to Morehouse College, which is an all black male school in this country. Then once I got to Yale, I was like, wait, there are people from everywhere here. There are people from everywhere here, and we are all united because, hey, we're at Yale and we're doing it and we're following our dreams. But it was the first time that I had been put in a place where everyone was represented and everyone was around each other. And I think that's the great thing about this country is that if you really want to, you can be put amongst all these different people and backgrounds and socioeconomic statuses and find out that we can just sit here and powwow and have a great time where that doesn't have to be the thing. Your race doesn't have to be the thing. But we just have to have the dialogue like we're doing now. The dialogue has to be there. And I think that's the greatest common denominator that we're having right now is that is what brings us together, to talk about it, to rap about it, as it were, which is what the piece is called, Rap About Race. And that's the best part.
Well, Brian, thank you for talking with us about it.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for listening.
Of course, and for more with Brian Tyree Henry, check out genConnect.